So today, we're digging into a question that sounds simple, but wow, the answer is complicated. We're looking at what some are calling a tale of two standards.
And really, it all boils down to this, doesn't it? It's a question that's supposed to be the foundation of a fair society. Does the law actually apply equally to everyone?
Okay, to figure that out, let's first set a baseline. Let's look at how a simple rule, like the helmet law, is enforced for the average person on just a regular day.
Let's start with this number, 40. Now, it might not sound like a huge number, but what it represents is a really hard line, a crystal clear message about what happens when an ordinary person breaks a rule.
So, that number, 40, that's how many people in Indore were just recently turned away from government offices. And what did they do wrong? They were riding a motorcycle without a helmet. That's it. This is a zero-tolerance policy in action. For them, the rule was absolute. The consequences? Totally immediate.
But what happens when we switch gears from a regular day at a government building to a big, high-profile political event? Are we looking at a different set of rules for rallies? Well, let's check out what happened recently.
The event was the voter Adhikaar Yatra in Bihar, and you had some major political figures there, like Rahul Gandhi and Tejaswi Yadav. They were on motorcycles, and yep, both were wearing helmets. But if you look a little closer, the state Congress president Rajesh Kumar and a whole lot of his supporters, they were seen riding all over the place without helmets, a pretty clear violation of the law.
And right there, you can see the split plain as day. On one side, you have leaders following the rules. On the other, you have another leader and a huge crowd just openly breaking them. And it leads to the really obvious question, where was the enforcement?
Well, you can bet that this massive difference didn't go unnoticed. It really struck a nerve with the public. And you could feel the frustration building over what a lot of people saw as a blatant double standard.
This one comment from social media just seems to capture the whole vibe perfectly. For them, it's law die. It's kind of cynical, it's slang, but it basically says it all. For regular folks, the law is a strict command. But for the powerful, maybe it's just a friendly suggestion.
And that feeling, it goes even deeper. Take this comment, which points to what people see as a bigger problem. Police and other government employees never get any challans and other punishment. A challan, if you don't know, is basically a traffic ticket or a fine. The belief here is that the people inside the system are just above the rules they're supposed to enforce.
So here's the bottom line. When people see these two different realities playing out right next to each other, super strict enforcement for them, but what looks like total immunity for the influential, it just fuels this massive skepticism and anger. It stops being about a helmet, It becomes about a feeling of privileged immunity from the law itself.
So when you put these two situations side by side, it really brings us right back to the main point of this whole thing, doesn't it? Is it really one law for everybody? The contrast here couldn't be more stark. On the one hand, you have helmet rules being enforced so strictly that people can't even get into a government office. But on the other hand, at these huge political events, you see the same rules being broken left and right with what looks like zero repercussions. And it's that exact contrast that feeds this powerful public idea that the law just isn't being applied equally.
And that leaves us with this final, really powerful question to think about. It's a question that goes way beyond traffic rules, and it gets to the very heart of public trust. If the law doesn't seem to apply to the powerful and the influential, then does it truly apply to anyone at all?